Okay. Awesome. Uh-oh. We'll maybe wait a minute while those ladies, I think they dropped. We'll give them a chance to get back on. And I'll just pause the recording. Okay, so sorry, I hit pause while we were waiting for you guys to come back on, and we'll get settled. So this is a class that I'm calling Pranava Meditations. Pranava, the word means the sound of Om in its entirety. The sound of Om is, we could spend a lifetime studying the meaning, the symbolism, and the power of the sound of Om. And I just want to take a moment and honor the teachers that have shared this knowledge with me. Muggs, who joined us in the last class, which was very neat. She has been far and away the biggest influence and the biggest giver of knowledge to me. And then a lot of these practices I've learned through her, and then also from Dr. Ananda, whom, if you've been following me, you've definitely heard that name before. So today we're going to do a combination of practices. We're going to combine relaxation, pranayama, and meditation, all on the sound of Om. And so, you know, if you have the ability to come to the floor for the first part of this class, I will invite you to. We will be coming back up to seated. And like I said, having a candle or an object that our eyes can land upon, we're going to intermittently meditate through this. So we can be present with the process of the shifting energies that these practices can bring for us. And our final meditation will be a bit longer to give us lots of time to be in that. So let's begin with a brief breath respiratory cleansing exercise. So if you're seated on a chair, just get your sit bones near the edge of the chair. And if you're seated on the floor, just get comfortable. And you don't have to work real hard with your posture, because in this one, we actually do want the breath to be coming into the belly. We're going to do 3 rounds of 11 repetitions of a breath called Kapalabhati. Excuse me. And so in this, all of the emphasis is on the exhale. The inhale is passive, and it's not a slow process, and it's not super rapid either. The breath comes into the belly, and then we'll only be able to bring in a partial breath for the actual breath exercise. So just take a couple of breaths into your belly and sense the breath coming into your abdomen. And become familiar with how much volume of air that you feel coming into your belly. Okay, so I'll give you a visual of the practice of Kapalabhati. We'll only bring in a partial breath into the belly. We exhale through the nose, and the breath inhale happens just because we've relaxed. And so it looks like this. Okay, so we're gonna do 3 rounds of 11. If you're new to this practice, you might actually get tired before we get to the 11th and take a break before we begin the next round. And if that's the case, that's okay. You just let your breath return to normal. Please don't struggle your way through the practice. The shoulders, the face, the chest all stay stable, still, and relaxed. So, sitting yourself in a relatively upright position, take a full breath into your belly, full breath out, breathe in a partial breath, and begin. We'll do 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And relax. Breathing in a partial breath. And begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And breathe in. Breathe a partial breath in. And begin. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And breathe in. And that's going to help to prepare the lungs, the respiratory system, for the pranayama and the breath work we're going to do. So if you're comfortable and wish to, I'll invite you now. We're going to begin with the relaxation, a grounding exercise. So come on down onto your backs. If you wish, you can do this seated as well. But it's lovely to be able to relax deeply. You'll come down onto your back, knees can stay bent if you wish, or you can lay with your legs down. Okay. And if you're going to stay seated, just snuggle yourself into your seat and get comfortable. I'm going to stay seated to be able to speak clearly to the laptop, to the recording. Ensure that you are as comfortable as possible, whatever position you're coming into. And notice if your eyes want to close or if they want to remain open. If at any time the eyes wish to open, allow them to open and let them be still. If they want to be closed, let them close. Let the eyes be still. Sensing your breath coming in and out of your body. Giving yourself permission to be very present with yourself. The 3 sounds of Om impact our bodies energetically, physically, mentally, emotionally. And each sound of Om has a specific area in our body that it influences. The first sound is the sound of Ah. Start to become aware of your body below the hips, the waist, not so much the waist, excuse me, the hips themselves, the legs, the knees, the feet. Breathing in, breathe out the sound audibly, Ah. Ah. Continue. Breathe in. Continue to make this sound. Feel the vibration and hold your mind in the lower part of your body. Releasing the sound, settling into stillness and quiet. Relaxing your hips, your legs, your feet deeply. The sound of ooh is the second sound of the sound of om. Begin to center your attention into the torso from about the neck down to the waist, to the top of the hips. The sound of ooh stimulates the center part of our body, and we'll chant this sound together, following your own breath. Continue to chant this sound, imagining all of the torso, the organs contained within, and the chakras being stimulated and nourished with the sound and the prana. Releasing the sound, relaxing everything from the neck to the hips deeply. The third sound is the sound of Everything from the neck up through the head, the crown, and beyond. We begin to chant the sound, holding our mind, our attention in the upper part of our body and above. Releasing the sound, relaxing neck, shoulders, face, crown, and mind deeply. Broaden your awareness to include your whole body, everything below your feet and everything above your head, and your whole body. We shall chant the sound of Om while relaxing deeply. All three sounds, each sound contained within the Om, given an equal amount of time. Breathing in. Relaxing deeply, continuing to chant the sound of Om. Continue on your own, chanting softly, relaxing deeply. Releasing the sound of Om, sensing the whole body being nourished with the vibration of the full sound of the pranava. Relax deeply. Begin to sense the in and the out breath coming in and out of the nose. Allow your senses to return. Awareness of the room and your surroundings. And as you begin to work yourself to your side and to seated, stay with the level of relaxation that you've come to. Working your way into a comfortable seat for pranayama and meditation. Okay, keep an eye on the time here. I don't know, I can't decide which one has me as the camera. So we'll find out. Okay. Moving into the pranayama of the practice, the Vibhaga with Hasta mudras. So Vibhaga means sectional. And just like the sound and our attention moved into the different areas of our body depending which sound we were chanting, we do something very similar with the breath, with the pranayama. So the breath exercise. So anytime that we're seated, it becomes important that we strive to have a bit of firmness below the navel so that is steady. You've got, you're not slouching, and a bit of firmness below the navel will ensure that the breath does not come into the abdomen. Instead, it's moving into the lower, middle, and upper lungs. And so for just a few moments here, I'd like you to use your hands. I invite you to use your hands to breathe in, and you can move your hands to where you're sending the breath. So breathing in, lower, middle, upper, exhaling, lower, middle, upper. Just continue inhaling lower, middle, upper, exhaling, lower, middle, upper. Continue on your own for a few repetitions. So the mudra that will support us in these practices changes depending on which section we're breathing into. So the first is chin. So it looks like Jnana mudra. The thumb and the forefinger come together, and they rest down, facing down rather than up, and closer into the crease of your hips versus out by your knees. And this will help to keep the prana into the lower part of the lungs and sends it down into the lower body. So I invite you for a few moments here to breathe into the lowest aspect of your lungs, to send the breath into the lower lobes of your lungs, as if you had 3 equal parts, a lower, middle, and an upper lung. There's firmness below the navel, the spine is tall, shoulders are relaxed, breathing into the lower lungs. Send your attention into the back part of the lower lungs and into the sides of the lower lungs to ensure that a global sort of breath is happening. Let's do 3 sounds of ah. Breathing in, sending the breath into the lower lungs. To shift the mudra, the thumb and the forefingers stay together and the 3 fingers curl in. Okay, so just towards the palms, and those again settle down into the crease of your hips. Breathing into the middle lungs, into the front of them, into the sides, into the back of the middle lungs. Let's do 3 sounds of ooh. Breathing into the middle lungs. Shifting the mudra to bring the prana and the breath into the upper lungs, we put the thumb inside the fingers. Okay, and then those rest. Yeah, thumbs go inside the fingers, those rest at the crease of your hips. And begin to direct the breath into the upper lungs. Breathing into all the corners of those upper lungs, the back, the sides, the front. Let's do 3 sounds of breathing in. Moving into the complete breath. The fingers stay curled inside, the thumbs stay inside. Now the knuckles, the fingernails face up. The knuckles rest against each other and they settle somewhere down in front of your navel. And we breathe in lower, middle, upper. Exhaling lower, middle, upper. So this pranayama will be our meditation for a couple of minutes. Your eyes can remain closed or they can rest on your candle, a sacred object or image, or simply in stillness. 3 times, let's chant the sound of Om, and there are 3 sounds, envisioning the sound moving through each section of the lungs. 1/3 of the sound will be Ah, 1 sound will be Oo, 1/3 will be Mm. Let's bring our breath in together. Putting the fingers in chin mudra, let them rest. So that's thumb and forefinger together. Let them rest. And begin to allow the breath to move naturally. The eyes to settle into stillness, open or closed. And sit quietly in the energy that you have created. The sound of Om is the first sound. The sound of all things that were, the sound of all things that are, and the sound of all things that will be. Begin to imagine as you inhale that your mind could move from the crown of your head to the tailbone as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bring your mind from the tailbone to the crown of your head. Stay with that visualization for a couple of moments. Breathing in from the crown to the root and exhaling from the root to the crown. The Pranava Dhvanyatmaka Pranayama is the sound of the Om riding upon our breath, and today we're going to practice it moving in this direction. As you inhale, hear the sound of Om and imagine that sound moving from the crown to the root. As you exhale, we'll chant out loud the sound of Om, and it's going to move from the root to the crown. And we'll do that for a couple of minutes together, and then we'll settle into quiet, chanting it silently together. So you'll chant following your own breath. It can be a rolling Om. You do not need to chant in synchronicity with me. You can chant how your breath unfolds. Breathing in, imagining the breath moving from the crown to the root. Breathing out, the three sounds of Om. Let's do this for a couple of minutes. Notice if you are ready to begin to chant inwardly, silently. You can continue to chant out loud if that feels like the right thing to do. Or you can shift to begin to listen to the sound of Om mentally. Staying with the visualization of moving up and down the spine, and the three sounds of Om being represented in your practice. Continue this for another couple of minutes. Continue to chant silently until you are ready to let go even of the sound of Om itself. To sit in meditation, simple awareness of the self, of this time. Begin to become aware of the breath coming in and out of the nose. Perhaps beginning to take slightly deeper breaths. Bring your hands into heart center in prayer mudra, Anjali mudra. Let's do 3 ohms, keeping our eyes closed. Breathing in. Letting your chin drop towards your chest, begin to rub your hands together quite briskly, creating heat between your palms. If you have glasses on, slip them off And when you have good heat built between your palms, cup your hands over your eyes. Absorbing the warmth, the charged prana in through the eyes. Letting your eyes open gently to the darkness of your hands. Slowly letting the light to come through. Eventually coming out of your meditation. Today the reading is a quote from the Maitri, I don't know how to pronounce that, Upanishad. Even as a spider reaches the liberty of space by means of its own thread, the human of contemplation, by means of Om, reaches freedom. The sound of Om is the mantra of all mantras. And I hope that you feel its effect on you today. I'm gonna say namaste. I'm gonna stop the recording here so that I can unmute you